But
All right.
Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top. Never stop, I'll get it if I want it. Gotta make to myself a promise. I won't quit, keep going till I got it. I won't give up till I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man.
welcome everyone. This is the next episode of Coffee with Kennected, and today we have a very exciting episode: how to run your business like a chief operating officer. And today we have David Inman here with us. He is the chief operating officer at Kennected, and we're going to hear all of the ingredients for success for how to run your business like a chief operating officer. So David, let's start off with you telling us a little bit about what you do at Kennected and what Kennected does, and then a little bit about what you do in your role at Kennected.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. I'm excited to be here. This is fun. I do need to say that the title might be a tiny bit misleading only because Chief Operating Officer is new for me. I've been doing this for about 2 months. I was Chief Revenue Officer for a couple of years before that. So I can share some thoughts, but a lot of that is still being learned. Hopefully I can bring some type of value. As far as what Kennected does, so if you're not familiar with Kennected, we are a sales enablement platform. So if you've heard of SaaS, right, software as a service, we have coined GAS, GAAS, which is growth as a service. Our entire mission is to be able to help business owners grow. And that's everybody from the Fortune 500 companies down to the solopreneurs, financial advisors, realtors. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is, what they sell, as long as it's legal and they've got some type of process we can help them through with our technology and our training to do it better.
Amazing. And tell us a little bit about your new role and how do you like it?
A little bit of TBD on how I like it. I think it's a little early to make a full call on that. I absolutely loved being Chief Revenue Officer. I love my team here at Kennected, which makes moving into this role significantly easier and a lot more fun. We did launch the new upgraded version of Kennected software. It's called Kennected Reach. And so all of that was happening at the same time. So it's been so busy, I haven't had a whole lot of time to even think about my opinion on it yet. And I guess that's important as I'm introducing Kennected to let you know about that. So Kennected has for a long time, I say a long time, we're a startup, a couple of years, right? So for a few years, Kennected's sole focus has been how can we help people prospect more effectively through LinkedIn, right? And we still love LinkedIn. It's a huge part of it. It's not going to go anywhere. But because of requests from our customers, we are branching out from more than just LinkedIn to also how can we help beginning to end of the prospecting process? How can we help you not only connect with the right people on LinkedIn and get the right data, but also email and eventually call and text and do everything else that's needed as part of your prospecting. So as the next step of that, we launched Kennected Reach just a little while ago. And so it has been very, very busy for us.
Yeah. And one of the things that Kennected Reach and the Kennected platform does is help people to get new clients, to prospect. And can you tell us a little bit about some of these prospecting strategies that may help our listeners here to get some new clients?
Oh man, I love talking about this. So this is going to be fun. And I worked as a sales and sales management coach for a couple of years. This was prior to Kennected. It's actually what led me to Kennected though, because I started off as a customer of Kennected. This technology, although it's an older version of this technology was a part of my own process. And I traveled the country and webinars and everything else, teaching people how to prospect better. Anybody that's been in sales for more than 2 days knows that a lot of what used to work really well in sales and prospecting it doesn't work as well as it used to, right? If you're one of those grinders, which I love people that are willing to grind, but you're one of those people that gets on and you just make a ton of cold calls, or you're sending a lot of emails, or you're going to networking events, or you're buying lead lists and sending a bunch of emails. That stuff used to be gold. You could build businesses so quickly off of that, and success rates used to be so high, but it hasn't been for years. And COVID accelerated this because technology accelerated with us moving into more remote environments. And so because of that, we've gotten to a point where cold calling, you've got a connection rate now of 1% to 3%. Right? That's a disgusting number. That hurts your stomach thinking about having to sit and make 100 calls to just have 1, 2, or maybe 3 conversations. And then you don't even know if they're going to end up setting the next meeting with you, right? So it's just an absolute grind. And so what we've done is, and really this is part of what I had started even before coming and joining the Kennected team, is looking at how can you use technology and systems and also understand the prospect and the way they want to be reached out to, so that you can do this in more effective ways. So for example, instead of, hey, I'm going to get on and I've got prospect ABC, right? I'm not going to just get on and call them 20 times in the hope that eventually they will answer the phone. And now I'm going to start using technology to make me more effective and to have a better experience for the prospect. So this can look like setting up a campaign to where first I'm going to send them an email. And actually there are differing opinions on this, and there's numbers that you can find proving and disproving. But from my experience and the experience of our team here, if you send an email first, right, start with the email before the call, you are more likely to get them to actually answer the phone when you call. And let's take that one step further, because we're on LinkedIn, right? Most of us are, at least. Most of us are on LinkedIn. If you start on LinkedIn, so let's first connect with them and send a message introducing yourself, and then send an email, and then make a call. Well, now we just poured fire on the gas, or gas on the fire. That's why we came up with gas, growth as a service. I just messed that up. We'll ignore that. But if you do LinkedIn and then an email and then a call, your chances of success skyrocket. Oh. If you look at email without this, right, without LinkedIn, without the warm approach, you typically have an open rate of about 16 to 19%. The way we do this, the way we've taught our customers to do this using our technology, our open rate, like our cold open rate, but we don't even, it's more of a warm because we've already connected on LinkedIn, is now a 60% open rate. Right? That's not even in the same game. That's a completely different thing. So if you're looking at building an effective campaign, as a very simple example of this, LinkedIn first. Let's start on LinkedIn, build the connection so that they recognize you, then shoot them an email with some more of the information, introducing yourself, and then give them a call. This doesn't mean we're walking away from calls. I think calls are going to be an important part of the sales process for years to come. It just means we've got steps before the call to make that effective. And then after the call, then comes the real follow-up game, right? Typically, you're going to look at like a call and a text, as long as you have legal permission. Different states have different rules about that. So a call, a text, another email, put a video in it this time. I'm a huge fan of video, not just live like this, but for our customers, they have Kennected video. If you're not one of our customers, find another video platform. There's plenty of those. Have a video inside of that, and then call, email, call, email. Now you've got a real process. You can space it out, and your chance of success is much higher. And the customer is now having a much more pleasant experience while you're actually prospecting them. That was a lot. I just threw a lot out there. Sorry. I get it.
Yeah, because there's like a call, an email, a video, like maybe we need like a step-by-step.
I know. This is something I'm passionate about. I've been able to work with quite a few people to help them improve their process. So I may have rambled a little bit, but it makes such a big difference so quickly for people.
Yep. Cool. I have some questions here. How can I not be annoying in people's inbox? How can you not be annoying?
So it depends on if you're talking about a LinkedIn inbox or an email inbox. Those are two different inboxes that we're typically working from, but I'll hit on both of those. One thing before I dive into that though is, yeah, it's good to not necessarily be annoying, but also if you're going to be successful in sales, you got to get out of your head that you are a people pleaser, right? You are out there to be able to help them improve their life, get better with whatever your product is. Sometimes you got to be a little bit annoying. I'm not saying be real annoying, but don't don't get in your head that you have to be super professional and completely avoid ever annoying anybody, right? That's just part of sales. But to be less annoying, so that this is, again, a more pleasant experience, some of the things to consider if you are in LinkedIn is to make sure that these are short messages. If you look at LinkedIn messages, right, that you have a very small box that you're reading this in. So if somebody writes this huge long message, especially if you don't know them real well, you've got a crazy long thing that you got to scroll through, and nobody wants to do that. That's automatically annoying. Right. The other thing inside of LinkedIn is I don't want to just say be yourself, because that sounds cheesy and it makes me feel like I'm coming out of a Disney movie or something, but be real, right? Be a human, say something that sounds authentic. This LinkedIn message that I get and that everybody gets all the time of, hey, I noticed we shared people in the same network. I thought that we could bring value to each other. Let's connect. Like that just feels, it feels irritating. It feels annoying, and it's also ineffective. Those don't work well, right? So do something different. For example, if you just connected with somebody on LinkedIn, the average salesperson will do one of two things. They will either, well, the first thing is they will ignore them, right? Because salespeople will connect and then they'll forget they connected and then they never do anything. So that's bad enough as it is. The second thing they'll do, though, is immediately start hitting them with as many messages as they can, trying to sell them, right? I do this, I do this, I have this could really help you. Let's meet. When do you want to meet? Let's grab coffee, virtual coffee, whatever it is. Nobody likes those kind of messages. My first message when I was actively prospecting was, awesome sauce, I'm glad we connected. That was it, right? That was it. It's weird. It's different. That's David. That's not Julie. That's not Kyle. It's not Kevin. That's David. So figure out your way of saying hi. And then a couple days later, introduce yourself with a video. People love video and they never see it. When is the last time you've gotten a LinkedIn message that had a video? I mean, we've been teaching this for a while now, so maybe you've gotten one or two, but it's still a very small percentage of the overall messages. Now, let's switch over to email for a second, because this is a little bit of a different game. When you're looking at email, man, we could spend the next, 2 hours talking about email. So I'll just hit a couple useful things that people can use right away to be able to improve their emails to prospects. So one part of email is your subject line. All right. Your subject line is massively important. You think a lot of people are looking at this on their phone. So it needs to be a succinct subject line. It is useful to have their first name in it because people are vain and we love seeing our first name. So that's useful to have on there. And then the second thing, I keep hammering on video, but the second thing is if you have the word video in it, it increases the chance that they'll open it because it builds curiosity. So an example of an extremely effective subject line, hey, insert name. So, hey, Julie, here's your video. Boom, you just improved your open rates. You got it that easy. The second part is don't beat around the bush in the email, right? Don't add a lot of fluff. Nobody cares about fluff right now because you guys are either strangers or you just barely met. So don't make this a long message. Don't add a whole bunch of stuff about yourself. Just a one paragraph thing saying that you're glad you connected or whatever reason you have to reach out to them. My manager asked you to reach out. I met you at this event. Doesn't really matter what it is. Just be honest about it. And then I shot this quick video for you, and then insert the video into it. Now, don't actually put a video into an email that is too large, and that will cause you to get marked as spam. Most email providers won't even let you send it, but put a link to a video that pops up with an animated image so that it is, a moving image so that they'll click on it and that'll open the video in a different tab. Yeah. Hopefully that answered your question about how to be less annoying when you're messaging.
I think it's good. That was really good, because you know what I don't like is when I get prospected from people that I'm not even going to be their potential client. Like I'll never buy from them. And so it's very random that people are like, oh, do you want to come to this conference? And, oh, do you want to do this? And I'm like, no, that's nothing. Like, do you even know who I am? You haven't figured it out. So
two things right there. One, that's the importance of targeting, right? You got to make sure you're reaching out to the right people. And that's one of the things that LinkedIn is so powerful with. You get to get in and get very precise about your targeting. But the second is give them a way out in your email. always have, not always, there's no actual always rules, but often at the end of the email, and if you don't care about this, or hey, if I got a hold of the wrong person, like anything like this, you can just tell me and I won't reach back out, right? Like, let them know I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that girl. If you say you don't care about this, I'll leave you alone, right? I can move on. That's super important to give a way out.
All right. So we're going to get ready to close in a minute or two here, but like, I'm curious what the parallel is. Okay. We talked about prospecting, and we also had this topic in the beginning, chief operating officer. And, you know, our business operations is important. We need to keep an eye on that. Could you draw a parallel for me between, you know, this idea of prospecting and your business operations? Like, where do you place it in the operations playbook, you know?
Yeah, I saw, okay, again, not speaking as necessarily an expert on this yet, because 2 months doesn't make you an expert. But I saw actually a post on LinkedIn the other day that it had every role in the company, right? It had CS rep, sales rep, VP of sales, VP of ops, COO, CEO, all these different roles. And then it had an equal sign and it said revenue next to every single one of them, right? And that is, it almost sounds cold, but that is the reason for business. You need to be driving revenue, right? And there's other reasons too. There's the good we can do in the world. There's the impact it's having on your customers. All those are massively important. But if you're not driving revenue, all of that disappears because your company dies, right? So every role in the company needs to be focused on, are we effectively driving revenue? If not, then that role is not accomplishing its main priority.
Right.
Now, so that's the big correlation. And then the second, at least from my limited experience in this area, it feels like in the realm of sales and marketing, there is a strong emphasis on metrics, right? You've got certain KPIs or metrics that you need to hit, and then there are certain consequences to hitting and not hitting those metrics. It's very clean. You know, as a salesperson, if I jump into this role and I don't sell stuff, then I'm not going to make it as a salesperson. Eventually, I'll be fired from that position. In a lot of other positions, though, it feels like a lot of the time they're not putting as much emphasis on that, right? It's, right, hey, you're a customer service rep, so do service. But we're not going to tell you what that means. We're not going to attach numbers to it, and just try to go and do things that sound customer servicey. And that is not going to be effective for that role. So one of the big things, and I got to give a shout out to Scott Abbott. He's our business coach that has helped us really come to understanding on a lot of this, is that every role in the company, it doesn't matter what role that is, every role in the company needs to have metrics associated with it. And those metrics need to be measured. They need to be reported on. They need to be part of reviews. If that's not happening, then, I mean, one, it's unfair to the person in that role because they don't know what's expected of them. It's really hard to succeed if you don't know your expectations, but also it makes it nearly impossible to actually hold anybody accountable if they're falling short. And I'm a huge advocate of hire slow, fire fast, right? If somebody's not a fit for it anymore, you need to get rid of them, but you got to do that in a fair way. If you just come out and say, hey, you're not doing well, but I never actually told you what you need to do based on numbers, just trust me, it's not good and you're fired. That's wrong. That's a terrible thing to do to somebody.
Yeah. And it's the leader's job to really hone that message in, and that strategic direction is where those metrics are attached. They're attached to the strategic initiatives and metrics of the organization. And it's like the bigger picture. It's like, what is that bigger picture? And how does your role fit into that bigger picture? And how is your role at the end of the day enhancing the success of the organization? So everything's connected. Everything's connected.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Everything's connected. David, this has been so much fun. Where can we find the Kennected super tool? Somebody here needs it.
Super tool. I like it. We haven't branded it that way, but Kennected is easy. It actually seems like it's scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Kennected.org. There are two. We've got a video on there that gives a good overview of just what our software does. I think I only gave a halfway adequate explanation in this video. So jump on, watch the video of the overview of the actual software. It is, as a general rule, if you sell something, this is going to help you sell more of it. So it's a good fit for almost everybody that their company sells something. But if you get on Kennected.org, you can see an overview of it. And then you've got two options. You can just immediately purchase it. If it's, yeah, this makes sense, I want to get going with it. You can also request a demo. And we've got an incredible team here that is more than happy to jump on, walk through it with you, and figure out if it's going to be a good fit for you. And if so, they'll help you get set up with it.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much. This has been an amazing broadcast. I feel like the audience really got some nuggets as far as how to manage your leads, prospecting, email lists, and maybe there's a one-pager. David, is there a one-pager you can send out to everyone after?
Yeah, we've got one-pagers. We've got a good marketing department. So yes, we do.
That's awesome. Well, you know what I want? I want is that sequence that you just told us about, because that I didn't write it down, but I guess I could watch it back and just get the sequence. Guys, if you want to watch this back one more time and get the sequence that David told us about how to prospect on LinkedIn and email so that you can get in front of the clients you need to. And with that, I just want to say thank you so much. Is there anything you want to say in closing?
Thank you. First of all, this is fun. The only other thing, and this is speaking to myself too, this is always a major focus for us. The world is changing incredibly fast in every facet of it. Technology is changing quickly. And so I encourage everybody, even if you found something that works, keep looking for something that works even better, because it probably already exists, right? We had Kennected Extension, and then we had Kennected Cloud, and now we've got Kennected Reach, and we are already in development. We've got a Indiana-based development team. They're incredible. We're already in development of the next stage of Kennected that is going to be, I won't dive into all of it here, but beginning to end, AI powered, everything cool. Like, there's always something new. There's always something better. If we get stuck in the old ways, the things that used to work, eventually you just die. So I encourage everybody, find what works better.
Thank you so much. And guys, we'll be back next week. Coffee with Kennected. Have a great day.